Hello YouTube, how's it going? It's a professional here today, and 2018 is here, and I was thinking about a video I could make at the beginning of 2018, and I came up with a video of 5 vehicles that I believe every player should own in GTA Online going into 2018. And a lot of you guys will already own these vehicles, but I believe that these are 5 vehicles that everyone should own because I believe they are great everyday importance and everyday use in GTA Online. And note, this video is geared mostly towards newer players that might have gotten the game over the holidays and are unsure about what vehicles to get. So this is my list, the top 5 most general vehicles that people should use. And also, these vehicles, they're not going to be like extremely complicated like military vehicles. We're not going to go into that. In this video, we're just going to target 5 vehicles, 5 everyday vehicles that everyone in GTA Online should own. So here we go. Let's start off the list. Okay, so starting off this list, number 5 is an MOC or an Avenger. If you own one, I don't really see a sense in owning the other unless you like the air vehicle and you also like the idea of having a mobile operations center on the ground. But basically, the only difference is the Avenger is just an air version of the mobile operations center. But the Avenger's cannons are a little bit better, and I'll discuss that a little bit later, but not by much. But basically, a mobile operations center, you can pretty much take all the weaponized vehicles into here and you can customize them, including if you have a weapons workshop. You can customize and upgrade your Mark II weapons, and you can refill on your Mark II ammo here. Both the Avenger and the Mobile Operations Center, they have armories, they have weapon lockers, where you can just change your weapons, you can change your weapon style. In here, we have access to the cannons. The Mobile Operations Center does have access to the gun running missions, but you only want to do those once, and that's only for the trade-in value. Those gun running missions have really nothing to offer. But these cannons that are on these cannons have extremely long range. They don't have a fast fire rate, but they can fire pretty far, and anything they hit pretty much blows up on impact. So right here, as you guys see, these cannons are very effective on the Mobile Operations Center. There is 3 on the Mobile Operations Center. The second one here is the Avenger. The Avenger is basically the exact same thing, except it's an air version of the Mobile Operations Center. I personally like the Avenger better, and the only reason I like it is because it's an air vehicle, and I prefer an air vehicle over a land vehicle. But here, the Avenger can hover, or being in VTOL mode, or it can be into flight mode. And right here we go into flight mode, and the Avenger, when it's in flight mode, it does actually fly pretty fast. It flies much faster than a Bombushka, much faster than a Titan. Don't expect super fast speed, but it does fly much faster than the Titan. So in this case right here, we can actually store a vehicle inside here. We could put a weaponized vehicle in here. We can transport it across the map really quicker than the Mobile Operations Center. And what's really cool about the Avenger, what I like personally about it, is that you can just go into hover mode right here, and you can just go into the cargo hold. So anytime really, you can just put it into hover mode here, go into cargo hold, and then you can just go customize your vehicle, upgrade your weapons, mess around inside, do whatever you want, go on the guns. That's what's great about this. So any new player to the game should try to invest into one of these vehicles. But the unfortunate thing about it is that if you want to own a Mobile Operations Center or an Avenger, for the Avenger, you need to own a facility. For the Mobile Operations Center, you need to own a bunker. So while every player should get these vehicles, these are probably one of the last vehicles that they want to get because they need to own a bunker or a facility at the start. Now, let me talk to you guys about the guns on the Avenger and why I think they're a little bit better than the guns on the Mobile Operations Center. Obviously, we're in the air, so we have the height advantage. But what else is there? The guns on this, you can switch with the button. So you just press one button, and you constantly switch gun to gun. While when you are in the Mobile Operations Center, you can't switch. You have to get up and go into each seat. Here, you just have to switch a button, and you can switch seats really easily. Number 4 on this list is the Insurgent, and specifically the Insurgent Pickup Custom, which I believe is the best one. I recommend you guys just invest in the Insurgent Pickup Custom. Don't bother with the other personal Insurgent. That one was good until the Insurgent Pickup Custom came out. And I was thinking about putting the Kuruma on this list, but I figured I'd put the Insurgent instead because the Insurgent just has more features. Even though you can still get shot through this, if you have the windows upgraded all the way, you do have maximum protection here, so it's very hard for people to shoot you out. A little easier for AI, but very hard for people specifically to shoot you out, unless you're playing, of course, on auto aim, but I like to play on free aim here. But this vehicle can hold 9 people in total. It's great. It's armored. It can take up to 9 RPGs. The custom variant can be upgraded to provide extra shielding, as we've seen, extra armor, And the gun on top can be upgraded with its own shield right there to give the gunner more protection from being shot at. This thing can carry unlimited proximity mines, so you can just keep dropping mines. Cops and anybody that come after you, you only have a maximum of 5 mines at a time, but other than that, the mines are unlimited. And these mines activate instantly, and they just detonate anything behind you and just kill the cops immediately and anybody chasing you. So I do definitely recommend this. And in addition to this thing being so armored, it does have surprisingly a fast acceleration rate and a fast top speed. So you can get from whatever place you're going to, especially if you take the freeway, you can get there pretty quickly. And you can reach speeds of up to 100 miles per hour, which is great. So I do recommend that everyone definitely invest in this vehicle. Just the disappointing thing about this vehicle is that you need a bunker and an MOC in order to get some of the extra upgrades, such as the extra armor plating, the minigun on top, and the proximity mine. So you do need a bunker and an MOC in order to get those features. So you do need to invest in that. You can still upgrade them in an Avenger, but you need research to unlock some of its extra features. So if you guys are going to get a bunker, definitely want to invest in this vehicle. You will not regret it. And what's the best about this vehicle, what I like personally about this vehicle, is you can use this vehicle in heists. That's right, you can use this vehicle in the default heist and the Doomsday heist, which will make it very useful because you have a lot of protection from being shot at, and you can have a gunner clear the area out. So if you have an area that you want to clear out really quickly, it's in the open, you can clear an area out with this thing pretty quickly. So this thing definitely is a great help on heists. Obviously won't help you inside buildings, but if it's an open area like here that we're doing it, we can easily clear out the area with the Insurgent here. I just gotta sit inside, wait for my gunner to pretty much take care of everything. So yeah, definitely want to invest in the Insurgent Pickup Custom. It'll definitely help you on heists and jobs. Number 3 on this list is the Hydra. The Hydra is an air vehicle that almost every player should own in GTA Online. And while the Hydra is not the greatest vehicle at dogfighting in comparison to other planes and jets, there are unique features about the Hydra that make it different from others. The first thing is that when we spawn it through Pegasus, it will spawn on helipads. So anywhere where a helicopter will spawn, the Hydra can spawn there too. So it means that we can spawn it at more locations. When we're spawning other airplanes and jets, they will spawn at airfields or airports, areas specifically designed for those planes to spawn on. So any helipad, the Hydra will be able to spawn on. And the second thing is, this has explosive cannons. The other planes and jets that have explosive cannons are the Laser and the Rogue. So it's definitely a plus that this thing has explosive cannons. It has lock-on missiles as well. So if you're a good pilot in this thing, you can just hover in an area and you can just take everyone out there with the explosive cannons and the missiles easily. And you can just go into flight mode anytime you want. And while it's not the fastest jet in the game, it's definitely a plus that it can go into flight mode. And it is fast though. While it's not the fastest in the game though. But what's very unique and very important about the hover mode here though, is that hover mode basically makes the ability to land anywhere you want. So anywhere where you can land a helicopter, you can land the Hydra. And other jets, other air vehicles specifically, have a really hard time landing in these tight spots. But the Hydra can do it just fine landing in hover mode. And in terms of jobs, other jobs like Headhunter, if you master this Hydra, and this will take some mastering, like it took me, when this thing first came out with heists, it took me some time to master it. But once you master it and you're good with this thing, you will be able to bomb targets and hit targets very easily. But I do recommend using this jet only for good, because this is a good griefer tool, and this is a good vehicle to grief other players, and I don't recommend doing that. I use the Hydra a lot. I use it for missions, and I use it to deal with players, specifically griefers. But definitely, if you're looking to kill somebody in Hydra, this is definitely one of the best vehicles in the game to kill somebody with. And whenever you get locked onto, you can just fly around in circles, and you can just dodge those missiles easily. And look at here, for example. In here, we are doing a Headhunter, and just look at how easily I'm able to complete this job. I can just fly around to each target. I can complete this job in under 5 minutes. I can even complete this job in under 2 minutes if I'm quick. So the Hydra is definitely really good at these jobs. Just let me show you right here, just bombing these targets right now. So look, I've pretty much flown across the city. I'm at target number 2. I know where he is. I've memorized it. I've memorized how to use the Hydra, how to dive bomb with this thing, able to easily take out targets. So if you're going to invest in one air vehicle for the new players, I suggest getting the Hydra. If you can't get the Hydra, get the Rogue. But in order to get a Rogue, unfortunately, you will need a hangar if you want to customize it all the way. But definitely, this one, you don't need a hangar for, and you have all the perks with it. And additionally, if you make this a personal vehicle by putting it in the hangar and customizing it there, you can spawn the Hydra in even more locations. For instance, it would spawn in the sewers here, or it could spawn in Vespucci Beach. It can spawn in much closer areas to you. So I recommend also, if you do buy a hangar early on, definitely make it a personal vehicle, because this thing will come in handy a lot. You can just get it from the interaction menu instead of constantly calling Pegasus. And like I said again, very useful, especially for these missions and taking out targets here. We've easily completed Headhunter, made an easy 21 grand under a few minutes right here. Number 2 on this list is the Oppressor, and the Oppressor is an important vehicle that everyone should own, even if you don't own the missiles on this thing. This thing can be configured with research to include missiles from the default machine gun, which would have 20 missiles in total. But even if you don't have the missiles, this is still one of the most useful vehicles in the game, and it's especially the most useful vehicle for motorcycle clubs, by far the most useful vehicle. What's unique about this motorcycle is that you can glide with it, you can fly, and there's a big boost. Even if you don't use the glide option, if you just take this thing on the freeway like I'm doing right now, and you just constantly spam the boost, it's one of the fastest vehicles in the game, and it can easily pass supercars. I've done that. I mean, just look at down below. We have 3 miles to this destination that we're going to, and just look at how much distance I can easily cover with this. The advantage, while other air vehicles like a helicopter and a plane would get us to a locations quicker, the good thing about the Oppressor is that it's a land vehicle, and it's a motorcycle that we can constantly keep getting on. So a helicopter or a plane, we would have to land in a certain spot. This one we can just drive wherever we need to and just take off, and you can also cut corners with this thing because it can just glide. Let me show you it in the job, and let me show you just how useful it can be. And here in this case, let me show you just how useful it is on missions. Here we are doing hostile takeover at LSIA, and you guys just look at how useful this bike is. And it doesn't matter how quick or slow you complete hostile takeover, the quicker you complete it, you'll still get 15 grand. So the quicker we complete it, the quicker we get our money. So look here, under 10 seconds, I managed to kill all the enemies with just the missiles. I go in here, I just pick up the briefcase, and I just take it back to the drop now. I don't even have to get into an air vehicle or get ready. I can just get there really quick with this. And also, I can avoid all the police that get in my way because I can just easily just jump right over them. Like, especially here in this gate area, I could just fly over this. I could just cut corners so easily with this thing. Just look at all the police I can avoid, and just cutting corners is the best with this thing. That's why I like this thing. If you guys watch my live streams, I consist of this all the time. If you like playing in a motorcycle club, you need to get this vehicle. Put this vehicle on your list if you play motorcycle club a lot. If you do MC missions a lot, this is going to be your best friend, this vehicle. This is the best bike for MC by far. While you can still use this in CEO, but unfortunately you have to call your mechanic. But what's the great thing about the MC is that you can just go into the interaction menu and just spawn it. Doesn't matter if you're a prospect, doesn't matter if you're a road captain or a president, you can just spawn it as long as you're an MC over and over again really quickly. And it's really useful. I mean, just look at here. The cops give me no problems. I can just cut corners easily, just fly over every single obstacle, and just easily get to any destination I need to. And the missiles on this thing are also useful. They can blow anything up in your way, really. They're not really accurate missiles, just similar to the Buzzard and the jetpack. These missiles are not the missiles that you find in the Ruiner, but they are useful because they do lock on. You got 20 of them on this bike, so this bike can also be useful for taking out targets. Unfortunately, though, the bad thing about this bike is that you can't shoot like an SMG or a pistol off of it. You can only shoot the machine gun or the missiles, but it's still definitely one of the most worth it vehicles in the game. So definitely every player should invest in this vehicle. Even if you don't got the missiles, it's still great for transportation. And there we go, completed. And the number 1 vehicle that every single player in GTA Online should own is the Buzzard. The Buzzard was in the game since day 1, and with the addition of CEO in Finance and Felony, the Buzzard is much more effective. When you are the CEO, and even if you are an associate, if you own it, you can easily spawn this helicopter. You don't have to call Pegasus or spawn it anywhere else. It'll spawn right in front of you. It'll spawn as the closest possible area to you. As long as you are near a street, it'll spawn in the countryside. It'll spawn in the city. It'll spawn a block away from you, right in front of you. You can transport 4 people in this helicopter, and this helicopter makes us doing missions and traveling around the map so much easier. This helicopter can be used for so many different CEO missions, picking up crates, transporting players. It even has the firepower. While its machine guns are not the greatest, it has homing missiles on it. These homing missiles are unlimited, and they are very good for jobs. Let me demonstrate for you exactly right here in Headhunter, one CEO work that we can do right now. So as you guys see right here, the Buzzard is very effective for Headhunter. I definitely love using this for CEO work. It makes the job so much easier. We've already taken out 2 targets here, and we are able to easily complete Headhunter in under 5 minutes. And because this thing has lock-on missiles and because they are unlimited, it is very easy to complete this job. Takes a little bit of getting practice with the Buzzard, knowing how to dodge, but we can still complete it very easily. In addition to this thing being fast and able to complete missions quickly, this helicopter also, while it does not have the greatest firepower, it does have maneuverability, and it's very easy to dodge missiles in this helicopter if you know what you're doing.
And here's another test. So we were testing the firepower with the Headhunter. In terms of Sightseer right here, another job, Sightseer can easily be accomplished with the Buzzard. Just fly around, pick up the 3 drops, and here, let me show you guys a little tip while we're at it. When you guys are doing Sightseer and you pick up a package, get in the helicopter and start spinning up the blade. And the reason you want to start spinning up the blade in the meantime before you do the hack is so the blade can warm up and it can be ready. So then when you finish the hack, you can just instantly take off and you don't have to wait for the blade to spin up. So before you start the hack, make sure you start spinning up the blade, and then you can take off quickly with the helicopter when you get each package. And here we're able to do Sightseer, in around 5 minutes again. So we've picked up the packages, easily fly around the map. Sometimes these packages can be a little far, but in other cases they can also be really close. So look here, we completed it, and look, we already have around 44 grand in CEO work just thanks to the Buzzard. And in addition to the Buzzard being such help in CEO, if you are a road captain in a motorcycle club, you can also spawn the Buzzard. You just have to go into the abilities page and you have to request a Buzzard. However, if you spawn a Buzzard from the MC, it costs $1,000. Unfortunately, it's kind of stupid. I don't know why if you own it. But this Buzzard does not come with any kinds of weapons, but it's still especially useful in the MC, especially if you want to transport your MC members around the map. And in addition to this, it can be very helpful with CEO crates and especially import-export. And if you have an office, you can just land in here very easily. Just go to the office rooftop and just land your Buzzard. You get right into the office. And once you're in the office, all you gotta do is just go on the computer, spawn the next crate, and spawn the next import-export vehicle, and you can just leave with the Buzzard. You can just spawn out here. It only costs $500 to leave. So that's my list right here. That's why I think these vehicles are the top 5 must-own for every player. Let me know what you guys think down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone.